Howdy folks, once again, monthly update for the month of August, standing here early September. Eden Park is on everybody's lips as the All Blacks and Boks are about to have this showdown tomorrow here in Auckland. It's a bloody fine day today, but there's a bit of rain on the forecast for tomorrow, sadly. Hopefully it'll dry out by the time there's kickoff, but it's probably going to be at least a touch wet. But let's have a look back at August, what was going on, what were kind of some of the big news stories, some of the stats and the thanks for the month. I will ask you, please, if you haven't subscribed, do that for us now. It's free, and I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me out directly, so pretty please, sugar on top and all that jazz. We're going to talk also about the jersey clash, apparently, between the Boks and the ABs, which is a first for me to have heard. The Blues at Eden Park, Gregor Townsend and Scotland, plus Thomas Lavanini heading here to New Zealand. It's all been going on late August, early September. What was the big stuff in August? Well, it was the two upset losses in the Rugby Championship. The Boks losing at home to the Wallabies. Nobody really saw that coming. That one was a very, very hot topic in the month that was. And likewise, the Pumas win over the ABs. Maybe not so much of a shock because the Pumas had lost the week before. And if anything, the Pumas love to win a game when they've just been defeated. So maybe that wasn't as much of a shock, but still, those two were very hot button issues. Likewise, my dad came on the channel to talk about the Springboks and some other rugby stuff. He's been pretty crook. So a lot of people, you guys left really sweet comments, and he read all of them. So he greatly appreciates that. If you haven't checked out Dad's video, I'll stick up a link there. It's just a rugby chat between father and son. But yeah, like I said, he's been pretty crook. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Leave him a comment. I'm sure he will read it because, yeah, as I said, he's at home. He's resting up, but yeah, he's got a bit of time to read some YouTube comments. Stats for the month, as I said, apart from those three games, where were you all from? South Africa, Australia, UK, New Zealand, and Ireland. These are your top five. Pretty much the stock standard top five. There is the odd bit of France in there every now and again, especially during Six Nations time, but this is not Six Nations time, so yeah, that's pretty much that. Top age group, 35 to 44-year-olds, which is my own age group, although the 25 to 34-year-olds are also not too far behind. But yeah, 92% dudes, pretty much same. Some things change, but those things are pretty consistent. I also need to say a special thanks to the patrons, all these people who help support the channel every month. There's a link to Patreon down in the description. We do some early access stuff on Patreon, weekly video updates on some of the news stories and Super Brew stuff down on Patreon too. So if you want to support the channel for as little as $1 a month, I would love to have you over there. Link down in the description. Like I said, all these folks, especially Jack and Angus, but all of them genuinely help keep the channel alive because YouTube is a bit fickle sometimes. Yeah, it kind of depends on how well they can sell ads as to how much people can earn on YouTube, but these people keep it kind of consistent, so genuinely keeps me doing this, providing the rugby stats and news and whatnot, which is hopefully what we're all here for. I enjoy having you guys on and all the banter and stuff, so yeah, Patreon, like, subscribe, all that normal YouTube jazz. Do it, please. Jersey clash between the Boks and the ABs. I've never really heard of this one before. Like, I know World Rugby's been pushing to have certain teams not play in their normal colours against each other because of colour blindness. The most famous example recently is Ireland and Wales. For people who've got red-green colour blindness, find it hard to differentiate between those two sides. So it tends to be that, you know, according to World Rugby and the changes that we've seen in the Six Nations, one of them goes with their alternative kit. Here in New Zealand, we don't tend to clash with many teams. Maybe France when they go with a dark blue. France has a few different shades of blue over the years, and the Scots. We often change when the Scots are playing us. One changes, we either change or you guys change. But there's not many clashes with New Zealand and South Africa. You guys only really have Ireland to clash with for the most part, right? Because two shades of green, even though your greens are not exactly that similar. But first time I've heard of New Zealand and South Africa being potentially asked to change because of World Rugby's rules about there needs to be one light kit and one dark kit. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody who's got any form of color blindness will have to let us know how hard it is to differentiate, because I sympathize from when I've seen jersey clashes it's horrendous watching two teams which look the same battling it out, because you see a line break and you think, oh, why didn't he pass it to that guy on the support run? Oh, because it's just not his teammate. Sometimes at ground level or on the wide shot, it's different. It can be kind of hard to tell just at a glance who's on which team. So if you've got color blindness and it's like red-green and they look exactly the same, that must be horrendous to watch. But you'll have to let me know how hard New Zealand and South Africa is. The shorts are obviously different. South Africa wears white shorts and the All Blacks wear black. So I would have thought that's at least one difference. But you guys will have to let me know if the All Blacks in South Africa has a big old kit clash or not. But both sides, I think, have said, no, we're going to stick with our traditional kits. I'm happy with that, but again, I'm not the affected party by this one. So, as I said, anybody who is affected will let me know how big a deal it is or if it's a bit of a non-story. Eden Park for the Blues. There was talk that the Blues might be going to move to a different stadium. It is hard to get bums on seats for Super Rugby. More than like 10,000 people these days. It's a 40-plus thousand seater stadium. You got to get lots of security and catering and all kinds of other services going. So it's kind of hard, I guess, for the Blues to turn much profit at Eden Park. It's obviously fine if you've got finals footy going on, but for the regular season, it can be a bit of a stretch. But having done a bit of consultation, the Blues are staying at Eden Park for at least 2 more years. Let's see what happens with that one going forward. But yeah, you do feel like a lot of the teams in Super Rugby, not just Super Rugby, but could use kind of smaller stadiums. I mean, you look at some of the competitions like the Premiership and the URC and whatnot. Some teams have got grounds which are like 10,000 seat, 15 or even smaller sometimes, and when they are sold out, they look way better than a crowd which is like a 20,000 seat crowd, attended crowd at a 40,000 seater stadium. It's just a big difference in atmosphere, a big difference on the camera. So Eden Park is not ideal, but it is what they are going with for at least the next couple of years. Speaking of a couple of years, Gregor Townsend is staying with Scotland. His contract was going to be ending after the Six Nations, but he's extended through to the next World Cup. There's been a lot of speculation that, Franco Smith might be heading to Scotland and that to get Scotland to the next level, somebody else needs to take over, but they're sticking with Gregor. He hasn't quite taken the team to the level you feel like they could have given the roster that they've got, but he's built a lot of depth and he plays attacking, fun rugby to watch. I love looking at the stats for Scotland. They always have heaps of run meters and defenders beaten and carries and all this stuff. Like, they've got all the flash attacking stats, but yeah, sometimes just can't win those kind of clutch ones with the 50-50s. If they can do that, they could really be a threat, but still not there just yet. So I understand that a fair few Scottish fans will be a bit, underwhelmed by him staying on, but if nothing else, it is consistency for the Scots having him in charge. I was kind of looking forward to seeing Franco give it a crack, but I don't know, maybe it's just the situation of grass is always greener on the other side. And then Thomas Lavanini coming in New Zealand to play for the Highlanders. The big old Argentinian lock, obviously played in Super Rugby before with the Jaguares. He's the second South African Argentinian player to be joining a Super Rugby franchise for the upcoming season. Franco Molina's off to the Force, but we don't get that many Argentinians down here in NZ. Matera obviously did it with the Crusaders, but Lavanini with the Highlanders. Keep the discipline fine, and that guy is a weapon. He's a big body. He's a proper asset for any team. I feel like his discipline, his card count, at least at international rugby that I follow, has been getting better over the years, but I don't know about his club rugby record. I haven't been following in the top 14, but be good to see him down here, the big Argentinian. Hopefully he enjoys his time down in the deep south. Hopefully he can help make the Argentinians the Highlanders a slightly more competitive team, because they didn't have their best year in 2025. But yes, that's it for the monthly update, folks. You guys take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't done so already. Consider Patreon down in the description. Give us your thoughts on the upcoming games and the news and whatnot. And yeah, take care. I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.